Imagine opening Facebook and seeing your girlfriend post, single and loving it, while you're literally sitting in the same apartment. I didn't argue. I didn't text her. I just commented, "Congrats." Then I made sure her post became accurate by moving out that night. The next morning, her funny joke turned into full-blown panic when she realized I was gone, and her single status wasn't a joke anymore. I still remember the exact moment I saw it. It was a quiet Thursday evening. I was sitting on the couch beside my girlfriend, Tessa, half watching Netflix while she scrolled through her phone like usual. I glanced at her screen, saw her giggling, then put my phone down on the coffee table and opened Facebook. That's when I saw it, her latest post. A bright selfie, big smile, captioned, "Single and loving it." At first, I thought I misread it. I blinked twice, refreshed the page, thinking maybe it was an old post that had resurfaced. But no, it was fresh, posted 10 minutes ago. And the worst part? She was sitting right next to me. My stomach dropped. I scrolled through the comments. Her friends were laughing, tagging her, saying things like, "Yes, Queen, freedom looks good on you," and "About time." I stared at the screen, waiting for her to say something. Maybe she'd turn to me, laugh, and say, "It's just a joke, babe." But she didn't. She just kept scrolling like nothing happened. That was the moment something inside me shifted. We'd had arguments before, small things, stupid things. But this felt different. This wasn't private. This was her telling the world she was done, even if she claimed it was just for fun. People underestimate how much words online can cut deeper than words spoken in person. A Facebook post can end a relationship faster than 1,000 conversations. I didn't explode. I didn't confront her. Instead, I just stared at the screen and thought, okay, if you want to be single and loving it, then I guess I should make sure you really are. So I took a deep breath, opened the comments, and typed just one word, "Congrats." After I hit post, I just sat there, staring at the screen like it might blink first. My comment, "Congrats," looked so small under her big, proud caption, "Single and loving it." For a moment, I felt a sting of guilt. Then I saw the notifications start rolling in. People noticed. One of her friends replied with a laughing emoji. Another wrote, "Wait, what? Did something happen?" The energy in the comments shifted fast from playful to confused to awkward. Tessa noticed it too. She frowned at her phone and said, "That's weird. Everyone's commenting on my post." I didn't say anything. She scrolled down, saw my comment, and froze. "Logan," she said slowly, "why would you comment that?" I looked up from my coffee and said, "You said you're single and loving it." "I just congratulated you." Her eyes widened, half shock, half annoyance. "It was a joke," she said, her voice rising. "You know how Facebook is." I didn't answer. Because the truth was, I did know how Facebook was, and I also knew how she was. Every time we fought, she'd post something cryptic online. A quote about choosing peace, a meme about outgrowing people who don't get your energy. I'd learned to ignore it. But single and loving it? That wasn't cryptic. That was direct. She tried to laugh it off, but her laugh cracked halfway through. "You're not really mad, right?" I smiled gently. "No," I said. "I'm not mad at all. Because I wasn't. I was done." That night, while she scrolled through damage control comments, I started mentally planning something I hadn't done in years, an exit the next morning. She acted like nothing happened. She made breakfast, hummed in the kitchen, and kept her phone face down like that would hide the aftermath. I watched her move around, cheerful and carefree, as if her words from the night before hadn't blown a hole straight through the center of us. That's the thing about social media. It makes people brave in the wrong ways. They'll post things they'd never dare say out loud, all because they can hide behind a caption or a laughing emoji. But it wasn't funny to me anymore. That joke made me realize something. We weren't partners anymore. We were performers, living for likes instead of love. Later that day, when she went out to meet a friend, I walked into our bedroom and just stood there, looking around. The framed photos, the notes stuck to our fridge, the messy pile of her makeup on the dresser. For a moment, I thought about forgiving her, but then I imagined waking up every morning wondering if I'd have to read another funny post about being single again. That wasn't love. That was humiliation with filters. So I made a decision not out of spite, but out of clarity. If she wanted to show the world she was single, I'd give her the truth she was pretending to live. When she left that afternoon, I didn't hesitate. I grabbed a few boxes from the storage closet and started packing, slowly, methodically. No music, no rush, just the quiet sound of tape and cardboard filling the space where laughter used to be. Each item felt like a small memory I was folding away. Our trip photos from last summer, the candle she bought for our energy, the hoodie she always stole from me on cold nights. I placed them all carefully, like I was burying something sacred. It wasn't anger guiding me, it was peace. Because sometimes, leaving silently hurts more than slamming doors ever could. By the time I was done, the sun was setting. The golden light hit our living room like a spotlight on a final act. I looked around one last time and felt that mix of sadness and freedom that comes right before a storm breaks. Then, I walked over to her laptop, which was still open on the coffee table. The Facebook post was there, single and loving it, the same words that started it all. I stared at it for a moment, then smiled. I whispered, "Now you really are." That night, I didn't sleep there. I checked into a cheap hotel across town, the kind with flickering lights and a smell of cleaning supplies that never really goes away. But for the first time in months, I could breathe. I lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling, realizing how heavy our home had become. When did laughter turn into silence? When did love start needing validation from strangers online? The truth hit me hard, that apartment wasn't home anymore. It was a stage. Every argument we had, every post she made, every funny caption, it was all a performance. And I had been her unwilling co-star. I scrolled through Facebook again. Her post was blowing up hundreds of likes, dozens of comments. But what caught my attention were the confused ones. Wait, weren't you two just together? Does Logan know? What happened? And then someone replied to my comment, "Congrats," with, "Oh, he definitely knows." I smiled, because for once, I didn't have to defend myself. I didn't have to explain. The truth was already out there, and I hadn't said a single cruel word. By the time the city lights dimmed, I realized something simple. When a relationship starts feeling like an audience, it's time to exit the stage. The move-out night. I waited until after midnight to go back. The apartment was dark, quiet, just how I liked it. I unlocked the door slowly, half expecting her to be awake. But the lights were off, her phone charger glowing faintly from the wall. For a moment, I stood in the doorway, looking at everything one last time. The place felt small now, claustrophobic, not because of the walls, but because of the weight between us, the unsaid things, the half-meant apologies, the jokes that hurt more than they healed. I grabbed the last of my things, my laptop, my favorite jacket, the framed photo of us from our first trip. I hesitated, then set the photo face down on the counter. Then, I took my key off my ring and placed it next to it, right beside her laptop, still open, screen glowing faintly with that same Facebook post, single and loving it. It almost felt poetic, like I was just honoring her wish. As I walked out, I didn't slam the door. I just closed it quietly, like sealing the end of a chapter. No yelling, no texts, no goodbye. The night air was cold, but it felt clean, like breathing again after holding it in for too long. I got in my car, started the engine, and watched the apartment windows one last time. No movement. No light, just stillness. I drove off without looking back, and in that moment, I realized something freeing. When someone jokes about losing you, it's not your job to convince them you're worth keeping. By the next morning, everything had blown up. My comment, "Congrats," had done more damage than any argument ever could. The post had over 500 reactions now, laughing faces, shocked emojis, people tagging each other to gossip. I didn't even have to scroll far to see the shift. The same friends who cheered her on were now confused. Wait, is Logan okay? Are they actually done? What's happening? Some people even started defending me. "This is why you don't play with people's emotions online," that man said. "Congrats," and left. That's peace energy. For once, I didn't feel humiliated, I felt seen. I wasn't petty, I wasn't cruel. I just quietly matched her energy. Tessa, though, she wasn't taking it well. Her next post was a quote, "People love to twist your jokes when they can't handle your happiness." It got some sympathy, but the tone had changed. The audience that once clapped for her was now skeptical. Later that afternoon, I started getting texts. From mutual friends, from coworkers. "Bro, what happened? She said it was a joke. You really moved out?" I replied to none. Sometimes silence speaks louder than any explanation ever could. By that evening, I knew the story was spreading, and strangely, I didn't care. For once, the truth was simple. I didn't lose her. She lost the version of me that would have stayed quiet and endured it. That night, my phone started buzzing non-stop. It was her. "Logan, please answer. It was a joke, okay? I didn't mean it like that. Where are you? Please come home." I watched the messages roll in one after another, but I didn't reply, because 2 days ago, when she posted that caption, she didn't think about how I would feel. She thought about how it would look. Now, she cared about both and it was too late. By midnight, the messages turned from pleading to panic. Are you really leaving me? People are asking questions. Please say something. Dr. Hill said online. Jokes can cause anxiety, she was right. Please, I can't sleep. The irony wasn't lost on me. Her panic was the same thing she used to accuse me of causing. Only this time, it wasn't me, it was her own actions echoing back. I thought about replying, but what was there to say? If she'd respected me privately, none of this would have happened publicly. So I turned off my phone, lay back in bed, and let the silence answer for me. Sometimes, peace sounds like nothing at all. The next day, I met up with Mason, my best friend since college. He'd seen the whole thing unfold online and wasted no time calling me. Bro, that congrats comment? He said, shaking his head with a grin. Legendary. You didn't even argue, you just ended it. I laughed a little. Didn't mean to go viral, just meant to go quiet. He leaned back, his tone softening. You did the right thing, man. Some people think disrespect is cute until it costs them something real. We sat there for a while, sipping coffee, just breathing in the kind of peace I hadn't felt in months. Then he said something that stuck with me. Respect is like glass, Logan. Once it cracks, you can still see through it, but it'll never look the same. That hit deep. Because I realized that's exactly what our relationship had become, something I could still see through, but never fix. Mason patted my shoulder. Let her figure herself out. Don't go back just because she's sorry. Go back only if she's changed, and even then, make sure you haven't outgrown her. That night, I thought about those words for hours, and by the time I fell asleep, I knew I wasn't angry anymore. I was just done pretending broken things could look brand new. A few days later, Tessa posted again. A photo of her on the balcony. No makeup. Tearful eyes hidden behind sunglasses. The caption read, "Sometimes jokes go too far. I hurt someone I love deeply, and I'm sorry." The comments were sympathetic, but mixed. Some said, "At least you're owning up to it." Others replied, "Maybe think before you post next time." I didn't comment. I didn't like it. I just watched. It was strange seeing her try to clean up a mess that never needed to exist. If she had just respected our relationship instead of performing it, we could have avoided all of this. But that's the danger of social media. It tricks people into thinking attention is affection and validation is love. That night, she texted me again. "I'm sorry, Logan. You didn't deserve that. Can we talk?" I read it, sighed softly, and put my phone face down, not out of spite, but because sometimes the lesson isn't in responding. It's in letting silence do the teaching. She wanted to look single and strong online. Now she was single and silent offline. 3 days after her apology post, I heard a soft knock at my door. When I opened it, Tessa stood there. No makeup, puffy eyes, a hoodie that used to be mine. "Can we talk?" she asked quietly. I stepped aside. She walked in slowly, glancing around my new apartment, smaller, simpler, quieter. The kind of space that didn't echo with tension. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen," she said, voice trembling. I thought it was funny. Everyone posts stuff like that. "But we're not everyone," I said calmly. "At least, I thought we weren't." She sat on the couch, wiping her eyes. "I was mad at you that day. You were distant, and I wanted attention. I wanted to feel wanted again." I sighed. "So you told the world you were single?" Her voice cracked. "I didn't think you'd actually leave." That sentence told me everything. She hadn't meant to lose me, she just assumed I'd always stay, no matter how much she disrespected me. We talked for hours. About us, about how things turned from love into performance. She admitted she'd been more focused on how her life looked than how it felt. When she left that night, she hugged me longer than she should have. "I'll always love you," she whispered. "I'll always wish you well," I said back. And that was the difference between us. She still loved the idea of me. I had already made peace with the loss. A week later, she asked to meet again. This time, I agreed not because I wanted to fix things, but because closure deserves honesty. We met at the park near our old place, the same spot where we'd once spent hours talking about dreams we never built. She started softly. "I realized something, Logan. I didn't post that because I wanted to be single. I posted it because I wanted to see if you still cared." I smiled sadly. "And now you know I did. Just not in the way you thought." She nodded. "I used to think love meant proving it online, posting pictures, writing captions, making people jealous. But now I get it. Love doesn't need an audience." There was truth in her eyes, but also regret. We sat in silence for a while, watching people walk their dogs, couples laughing in the distance. Then she said the words that brought everything full circle. I made our relationship about likes instead of respect. And when I lost the likes, I lost the respect too. I didn't rub it in. I didn't say, "I told you so." I just said, "Maybe now you'll treat the next person better than you treated me." Because sometimes the best closure isn't getting someone back, it's knowing they finally understand why you left. Tessa didn't post for weeks after that. Her silence was almost louder than her words had ever been. Then one morning, I woke up to a new post from her. You can't love someone and humiliate them at the same time. I learned that the hard way. No hashtags, no emojis, just truth. The comments were kinder this time. People told her they respected her honesty, and while part of me felt proud of her for owning up, another part felt sad because the woman writing that post was the one I'd been waiting for all along. But timing is cruel. Sometimes people grow after you've already gone. That night, I got a message from her. "Thank you for not yelling. Thank you for just walking away. That hurt more than any fight could have." I didn't reply, not out of coldness, out of completion, because I wasn't the lesson anymore. I was the reminder. Months passed. My life grew calm again. Work, gym, quiet evenings. The kind of peace that doesn't make noise. I started journaling, something I hadn't done since college. Writing helped me untangle the emotions I used to bury under forgiveness. In one entry, I wrote, "Some people don't mean to hurt you. They just don't know how to love you in private." And that was Tessa. She didn't wake up planning to disrespect me, she just confused validation with affection. I didn't hate her for it anymore, because forgiveness isn't about giving someone another chance. It's about freeing yourself from the version of you that needed their approval. One evening, I passed by our old apartment building. Lights on, curtains drawn. A life I no longer belonged to. And I smiled not with bitterness, but gratitude. Sometimes closure doesn't come from an apology. It comes from realizing you're finally okay without one. Weeks later, while scrolling through Facebook, I saw her name again. A new post. No filters, no dramatic caption, just a simple text. Sometimes you lose a good person trying to look strong for people who don't care. I stared at it for a moment, then scrolled past. No comment, no reaction, just peace. Because that was the difference between us now. She still needed the world to see her lessons. I'd already learned mine quietly. That night, I deleted Facebook from my phone. Not out of anger, but liberation. I didn't need to prove my peace to anyone anymore. I stepped outside, breathed in the cool night air, and whispered to myself, single and loving it. But this time, it wasn't a joke. It was freedom.